So I came across this video from Mo Bitar the other day where he speaks about AGI, and I was flabbergasted by his explicit admission that he denies reality, that he'd rather bury his head in the sand than consider the empirical evidence and the trajectory that we are clearly on. If you think I'm exaggerating, then just listen to this clip that I'm about to play, and then I'll explain why it plays right into the hands of the AI industry.
From now on, I'm gonna stop pontificating about the future. I'm gonna stop giving the technology the benefit of the doubt and the benefit of progress and extrapolation. I'm gonna take the present state of LLMs and I'm gonna treat that as the only fact that exists, period. I will behave as though there is no such thing as progress. There's no such thing as the future. There's no such thing as 12 to 18 months from now. There is only fucking now.
Okay, so to acknowledge that AI capabilities are progressing is not giving AI companies the benefit of the doubt. It's a statement of fact. So just look at this graph. 2 years ago, the best AI model was incapable of reliably accomplishing tasks that take humans more than a few minutes. They were pretty pathetic. Just a year later, the best model could do 2-hour-long tasks, and now Claude Mythos can do tasks of at least 16 hours of duration. To deny this progress is nothing less than science denial. To say that you'll act as though the present state of LLMs is the only thing that exists and there's no such thing as the future implies that this is what you think is going to happen. Now listen, predicting the future is not easy. We might be about to hit a wall. We might be about to enter an AI winter. I really hope we do, but the simplest conclusion from this data and all the other benchmarks we have is that this exponential trend will continue. Now, I'm not making this video to hype AI and say it's amazing at everything. There are, of course, still things that it's rubbish at, but it is clearly getting better at a very rapid rate. And denying that helps AI companies in their attempts to confuse the public and fight any regulation of their technology. There is a growing movement of ordinary people and politicians who are calling for this reckless race that AI companies are engaged in to be stopped. These companies have no safety plan whatsoever. They have no idea how to make their AIs reliable, controlled, and aligned. But they have figured out that if they throw billions of dollars and tens of thousands of GPUs at the problem, then their AIs will get better. And if we as a society collectively decide to bury our heads in the sand and ignore this fact, then we won't be able to stop them. We'll be completely unable to work towards international regulation that stops these billionaires and protects everyone on the planet. In another part of the video, Mo makes an error that's very common amongst AGI skeptics, which is to conflate intelligence with consciousness.
I dipped one foot into the cult of AGI by accident, and now I'm noping the fuck back out. I mean, I'm absolutely flabbergasted to find out that David Deutsch, the father of quantum computing and the author of the book The Beginning of Infinity, doesn't even believe animals are intelligent or conscious. Like, I'm sitting here trying to determine if a Python script can be generally intelligent, and this man is like, dogs aren't even alive. At that point, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm out.
So in that clip, Mo uses 3 words interchangeably that all mean different things: alive, intelligent, and conscious. Now, I'm not sure if this is Mo joking about David Deutsch's ideas or if this represents a misunderstanding on his part, but either way, this confusion, I see it everywhere in conversations about AGI and in conversations about veganism and how we should treat animals. So let's address it. Intelligence is about something's ability to process information, plan, solve problems, and accomplish tasks. Consciousness, on the other hand, is about subjective experience. It means there's something that it's like to be you. And alive just means you're doing biology. So you eat, you poo, you respire, and you have offspring. But people conflate these 3 words all the time when either knowingly or mistakenly misrepresenting the fears of the experts when it comes to AI takeover. So let's compare AI to some other things to understand this a little bit better. A rock, for example, is not alive, it's not intelligent, and it's not conscious, as far as we know. A tree, on the other hand, is alive. It also has some ability to process information, to reach nutrients in the soil and grow towards the sun. So you could say it has some level of intelligence, but it's probably not conscious because there's no neurology going on. Us animals, we are alive, we are conscious, and we all have varying levels of intelligence. Mine is similar to that of a stick insect. And then AI. So AI is not alive, right? Because it's not a biological entity. We have no idea if it's conscious. That's a heavily debated topic, but it's not really relevant to the fears about AI takeover. But the important thing is that it is displaying intelligence, or at least an imitation of intelligence if you can't accept that word. It is able to solve problems, to plan ahead, to act agentically. We've seen they've been able to hack into remote machines, copy themselves over. OpenAI's model just disproved an 80-year-old's conjecture in mathematics. And as we saw earlier, Claude Mythos can do 16-hour-long software tasks, which requires a massive degree of planning, a massive understanding of software, and you'd really struggle to claim that Claude Mythos is not intelligent based on that evidence. Remember, it being intelligent has nothing to do whatsoever with whether it's conscious or whether it's alive. When experts like Jeffrey Hinton and Yoshua Bengio express their concern that superintelligent AI might kill us all, it doesn't have anything to do with consciousness. They're not imagining that AI is suddenly one day going to become conscious, is going to wake up and become self-aware, and then go rogue, develop a hatred for humanity and wipe us off the face of the planet, as we see in many science fiction stories. The reality is far more mundane and far scarier. They predict that as AI companies continue to pump more computing power into their models, that they will get better at a wide range of tasks, including, importantly, AI research and development itself. That could then begin a recursive self-improvement loop, which leaves humans in the mud. They'll then begin to pursue a weird misaligned goal. And remember, there is no consciousness involved while it's doing this. And because we haven't figured out how to make sure it avoids harming humans, it almost definitely will. Just as when we want to build a new road or a new house, we annihilate the ant colonies that are there. We just don't really care about them. The problem is not consciousness. It's not malice. It is competence and indifference. And then Mo seems to allude to another argument that you hear a lot in these conversations, but again, it doesn't really make sense.
If there are cases being made that animals aren't intelligent, then how the fuck are we even having a conversation about whether computers are intelligent? Or what the fuck it would mean for them to be generally intelligent? There are no definitions for any of these terms that we are claiming exists or is even possible. There's fucking nothing.
Not understanding something doesn't mean it can't kill you. People in the 1300s didn't even know that bacteria existed, let alone having any idea of how it works. And yet one species of bacteria killed 50 million of them. Our understanding of the human brain and consciousness and intelligence more broadly is still in its infancy. It's not really that much more advanced than the understanding of disease in the 1300s. But evidently, we haven't needed a perfect understanding of intelligence in order to make AIs that smash all humans at chess. We haven't needed an understanding of consciousness, because remember, consciousness is not involved in these AI systems, to make AIs that beat us at Go. And we clearly haven't needed a perfect understanding of the human brain to train a model like Claude Mythos, which has terrifying cyber security capabilities. So the argument from the AGI skeptics is something like, because we don't have a perfect understanding of the human brain, then we're not yet ready to replicate that on a machine. This would be a great argument. It would make sense if we built AI models like we built cars or like we built traditional software, where it's either line by line or part by part, where a human understands exactly what each bit does and how they fit together. This is how AI researchers in the 60s thought they would be able to solve the problem of intelligence. They realized they couldn't. They realized that wasn't an approach that worked. We have since moved from trying to build AI piece by piece to using deep learning. So rather than designing AI models, it's more like we are growing them. The way we grow them, the way we train them, results in these massive, inscrutable neural networks that just work, and we don't really understand why. You can go and look at each individual weight within a large language model, but that doesn't tell you much about what it does. We do have a whole field called mechanistic interpretability that attempts to figure these things out, but Dara Ramadeh himself says we only understand 3% of what goes on inside AI models. And that's part of the reason we have no idea how to direct their behavior reliably. We have no idea how to make them stick to any kind of ethical rules. The alignment problem remains completely unsolved, and we are not on track to solve it in time. And that's why if we let these AI companies build super intelligent AI, we are fucked. If you think I'm wrong about anything in this video, I welcome healthy criticism in the comments, because importantly, I really want to be wrong about this. I don't want it to be true that I might not make it to old age. I don't want it to be true that I might not be able to do all of the things that I want to do in my life. But unfortunately, the warnings of the experts are undeniable. The empirical evidence we have is undeniable. Now, I do understand where people like Mo are coming from. I'm not trying to make out that he's a bad guy or he's intentionally lying to you. I don't think he is. Our shared enemy, and by us, I mean all of humanity, is the AI industry. Some of the guys behind these companies are evil psychopaths. That's one of the main things we talk about on this channel. I want their companies to come crumbling down. I want their projects to fail. I want this bubble that people talk about to exist and for it to pop. None of us want humans to be replaced. None of us want it to be true that AI companies may soon build recursively self-improving agentic AI that rapidly outstrips human capabilities. But unfortunately, in my opinion, an honest, sober look at the world, at the data we have, shows that that is clearly the trajectory we are on. It's only when we admit that we can come together and build the political will to end the AI race, to ban superintelligence, and to stop these companies that are choosing to gamble with our lives.